Somewhere in the motherland, it could be that village near Nyanga Mountains, or maybe not. There lived a young man named Tamu Sinka. Tamu was known in his village for his stubbornness and his I-know-it-all attitude. The elders found it really difficult to correct him in anything, so they let him be. One day, he decided to venture into the enchanted forest to gather wood, despite being warned never to go alone. But Tamu, being his arrogant self, turned a deaf ear to the elders' counsel. So around midday he ventured off into the enchanted forest. As he wandered deeper into the forest, he felt a strange presence, as if the trees themselves were watching him. He shrugged off the eerie feeling and continued with his task of gathering firewood. After a while, nature called, and Tamu, with his usual disregard for tradition, relieved himself right there, in the sacred forest. Satisfied with his work, Tamu began his journey back home. But as he walked, he could smell something foul around him. He turned around and, to his horror, saw his own excrement floating in the air, trailing behind him like a loyal but unwanted pet. Flies buzzed around it, adding to the grotesque spectacle. Tamu quickened his pace, hoping to outrun the smelly apparition. He ran through the forest, dodging trees and leaping over roots. But no matter how fast he went, the excrement kept up, bobbing along merrily. The flies buzzed louder, and Tamu could swear he heard them laughing at his predicament. Panicked and exhausted, Tamu finally stopped and faced the floating mess. "What do you want from me?" he shouted, his voice echoing through the forest. The excrement hovered silently, as if waiting for him to understand. Suddenly, Tamu remembered the warnings of his elders. He realized he had disrespected the sacred forest and its spirits. Gathering his courage, he picked up the excrement, holding it at arm's length, and made his way to a nearby stream, buried the offending matter and washed his hands, all the while muttering apologies to the spirits of the forest. With his task complete, Tamu returned to the village and prepared a gift of atonement. He gathered the finest fruits, herbs, and a small carved figurine of a guardian spirit. He returned to the forest and placed the offering at the base of an ancient tree, bowing in respect. There ends the story, but only in words. Its meaning carries on, woven into the fabric of today. Picture this. Somewhere in the vast Pacific Ocean, there's a gigantic blob of trash just chilling and floating around. Yeah, I know, it's not exactly what you'd expect from a tropical paradise. This mess is called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, and it's not some mythical creature or ghost ship. It's a real thing, and it's huge. How huge? It's about twice the size of Texas. That's a lot of trash, right? But here's the kicker. The garbage isn't floating there by accident. It's a mix of plastic bottles, fishing nets, old toothbrushes, basically all the stuff people don't dispose of properly. This trash gets carried by ocean currents called gyres, which act like giant conveyor belts, sweeping up everything in their path and dumping it in the middle of the ocean. Now, here's where Tamu's story comes in. Just like how his excrement stubbornly floated after him through the forest, this trash isn't going anywhere on its own. It's out there, following us, and serves as an enduring indictment of our careless practices. I mean, imagine trying to swim, and suddenly an old flip-flop drifts by. The good news is, much like Tamu's journey to make things right, humanity is also taking steps to address its mistakes. Efforts are underway, with initiatives like the Ocean Cleanup deploying large nets to capture the accumulating waste, while others work diligently to halt the flow of trash into the ocean at its source. These actions remind us that redemption is possible, but only if we take responsibility and commit to change. So, the next time you see a plastic straw or a snack wrapper, think about where it might end up. And remember, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch isn't just some faraway problem, it's our modern-day floating moment, reminding us to respect nature and clean up after ourselves.